celebration. We have So what I think we could do here is maybe talk through some of the main panels, kind of the main stages. And if you have anything else that's not on a main stage that you're excited about, throw it in wherever you want.
Yeah.
We also have Star Wars night coming up that I'm excited about as a big Disney Parks fan. So we can just kind of start with, the big panels. And first day, I'm going to be getting there late. And sadly, that means I'm going to miss, I think, the biggest panel from now that I've seen the announcements. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't come a day earlier. But yeah, the what are they calling it? The Lucasfilm Studio Showcase on Thursday. Sounds like the panel you don't want to miss.
Yeah, I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, The Mandalorian, special guests. I'm sure there'll be more stuff here as well. Like, will we get information on the Acolyte and others? I don't know. Ahsoka, right? But yeah, it's a big one, and it's the only main stage panel that's an hour and a half instead of an hour.
And I think this is probably going to be where if there's somewhere they're going to show like clips from episodes from like Andor or Kenobi,
probably
this is where it's going to be. If they're going to drop a trailer for Andor, this is where it would be. Ahsoka, stuff. This is the panel that it's going to be at. And I'm literally going to be probably driving from the airport at this moment. And I was thinking, are they going to live stream it? Is there something can I pull it up on my phone and be unsafe and try to watch it while I'm driving? Or maybe I'll take an Uber. But yeah, so I think I'm going to miss this panel, which I'm really bummed about. So if William, if they start to show a trailer, just pop your phone up and record that thing for me so I can watch it later.
I'll just I'll live stream it to you. I'll call you in. Aaron,
I feel like trailers they if they're going to show it, they'll probably drop it online like later that day anyways. But clips and stuff like that,
they often don't.
They won't. So that's the stuff I'm worried about missing.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's a packed panel, right? There's a lot of different shows they could be covering, potentially even movies, right? It's Lucasfilm's Studio Showcase. It's not just, Disney Plus branded. But I don't know. We were talking earlier. I kind of hold out hope that maybe I don't think it's long enough to show Kenobi, because I think they have too much content and then have a Kenobi episode on top of that. They probably, I can't see them doing that as much as I secretly hope, and they might spend half an hour and be like half an hour on content, 50 or 40 minutes on content, and be like, here's a 50-minute episode of Kenobi, right? That would be cool.
Or more likely is maybe they do an hour of the content, and then they give us like an extended clip or something.
I could see that. Maybe like 10, 15 minutes or something.
They did that with Mandalorian. I don't know if you remember.
I do. It was Werner Herzog's introduction.
Yeah, they gave us a really long clip
for
Mandalorian and didn't show a full episode. So I kind of wonder if that's what we'll get for Kenobi, maybe in this session.
Yeah. So. That, although the Mandalorian clip, I remember feeling it seemed off, and I don't remember. Maybe it was like not finished. Maybe there wasn't like the music track wasn't in or something. Because I remember it feeling kind of empty and echoey when I watched it, and then I actually got a little bit less excited. And then I watched the series. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was a little bit more disappointed from that particular clip, and maybe just because it wasn't fully finished yet. But I do remember that. Do you remember it? Did you have the same feeling?
I remember being underwhelmed by the clip. For Mandalorian, but then I watched and actually being nervous about it. Like, I don't know if this is gonna be good. Like, something just doesn't seem right.
Right. And then you watch the series, you're like, this, I don't know why I was worried about this. And so I think something maybe wasn't finished yet. And it was a much, much further in advance. So this is a day before it airs instead of
this will be whatever's there's nothing gonna be unfinished.
12 hours ish. 13 hours before the series drops. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So that one's going to be on the celebration stage, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the big one.
So Ian McDermott is doing, or I don't even know. I never know if I'm pronouncing his name right. McDermott.
McDermott is how I say it. Maybe it's right.
He's doing a panel. on Thursday as well. This one I'm not as excited about just because I've seen him kind of do panels before, and the kind of like single actor panels
Yeah.
are,
They have the mainstays. Anthony Daniels always does one.
yeah,
Ian McDermott always does one. They're always enjoyable, but I've also like, if I've done it before, I don't feel the need to go back again.
that's kind of how I am with him. Now, for people who have never seen him on stage, I get
Definitely.
like, oh, this is exciting. Let's go watch it. But for people that have kind of been to a few of these cons, some of these actors, it's like, all right, like if Warwick Davis was doing, I'm like, all right, I've seen Warwick Davis enough. Like
It doesn't, many times. Yeah.
you know, if they pulled out like Harrison Ford or something like that, then that would be, more exciting. Somebody that they haven't really done. But for this one, I might pass on this one and like find something else to do.
It's at the same time as the Lucasfilm publishing panel.
Yeah.
Too. There's a half-hour overlap. And so Stories from a Galaxy Far, Far Away. And then there's also, and this will be covering Lucasfilm Press, Del Rey, Dark Horse, etc. And then there's also David Collins, the music of episode 2, which I think is a repeat of his episodes he's released of the soundtrack show, but I love listening to him as well. And so I'm torn between those two panels. Like, I just can't make Ian McDermott. Like, there's no way I could be in 3 places at once.
I don't think I'll be making it in time to watch any of them anyways. Yeah. I'll be lucky if I catch any panels on Thursday, because by the time I'll get into the town, I might be able to catch like a very end of the day panel.
I'll save you a seat.
Yeah. So I'll probably, and that's kind of a bummer because I will be most likely missing the High Republic panel on the Galaxy stage.
Hopefully you can make it in time for that one if you're driving over during the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. But
yeah. So I might make that one if I'm lucky.
You can join. You can join us in line.
I'm driving from LAX, and you know how that can be. So yeah. So I don't have high hopes for making it in time for that one.
Yeah.
What else is on Thursday? Kind of
that's pretty much it. Those are the ones, at least that, I mean, there's lots of content, but those are the ones I had. I kind of feel like each day has a theme. Like Thursdays, Lucasfilm Studios, and then some books, and like Lucasfilm Studios Showcase and books. And then Friday is the parks. Saturday is Mandalorian, and Sunday's Bad Batch. If I had to give each day a theme almost.
So Friday, they're doing a panel, Light and Magic, which is kind of focused around a Disney Plus documentary series.
Yeah.
That's coming. This one, kind of the big draw for this one is Lawrence Kasdan. Right? Like, isn't he going to be there?
Yeah, actually, I think he will be, which sounds really cool.
So they have, let's see here, illuminating discussion panel featuring Lawrence Kasdan, Ron Howard.
Wow.
Joined by Dennis Murin, Phil Tippett, Joe Johnston, Rose Dugnan, and Linwin Brennan. So some pretty big names there.
Yeah, that's a big one.
They're going to be there. Like, Ron Howard's going to be there. This better not be one of those where they're like all like calling in from their house or whatever
right.
On Zoom, because that might be kind of what they give us. But this is the first I'm reading this description, and the fact that Ron Howard's going to be there kind of has me excited.
Yeah, actually, you're right, because I saw this was added. They didn't announce this in the first wave of panels, and it was only when they announced the panel reservation system that they revealed that the first panel of the day was going to be Light and Magic. And when I looked at it at first, I was like, okay, I mean, you get a sneak peek at the documentary series. It's coming on Disney Plus. And I love the Star Wars documentaries. I love watching them. But is it a first panel of the day type of thing? And that's what's so interesting to me, that they're really pushing this. It's the first panel of every day is always the big deal. And
I think it's more the fact that it's
those names, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's the names. It's like who's going to be there talking about it more so than the documentary series itself. Right. Because they obviously want to promote a documentary series, but it's not. You're right. It's not something that's super exciting,
right,
for most fans. Where it would be like the main draw for the day. So the fact that they have these big name directors that have done Star Wars, and that I would go just to see Lawrence Kasdan. I would go just to see Ron Howard.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're going to potentially actually be there on stage would be very cool.
Yeah. And that's like taking the place of the 20th anniversary celebration for Attack of the Clones, which isn't until 2 o'clock that day. I'm kind of surprised that took the headline in many ways.
Now, have
Because
they
the
announced
episode 1 20th anniversary panel was like a big deal.
that was huge? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have they announced any of the actors from Attack of the Clones that are going to actually be there?
I know
Or maybe they're
Hayden
saving.
Christensen will be there.
Okay, Hayden is going to be there.
Well, he'll be at the convention. I don't know. And I'm assuming,
but they haven't
McGregor will be
announced
as
like
well.
they haven't announced Ewan McGregor.
Let me double
as far like if
again.
you,
yeah, because they haven't announced anyone. It's just a special guest that behind the scenes content will be revealed in this can't miss commemoration of the 2002 epic.
But as far as like them saying,
no hints. Yeah.
No, but I mean like the actual like celebrities that they've announced that are going to be attending the con
at Celebration. Yeah.
Have they said? I was kind of trying to pull that up real quick.
I'm pretty sure Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor are going to be there.
Really?
I think, but maybe not. Maybe I'm doubting
remember.
myself. Maybe they won't be.
Let me open link.
I think I assumed.
I think let's see here. The big ones.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through kind of the big names. Oh yeah, there's Ewan McGregor.
I think they're signing. I think Hayden Christensen is maybe signing for. Maybe he's only signing like for a couple hours. I could have sworn.
So I don't see Christensen. Hayden is not on the list of people that are going to be there, but Amy Allen's going to be there. So she was in Attack of the Clones. Who else? Anybody else notable from Attack of the Clones? I guess Daniel Logan.
Daniel Logan.
Anthony Daniels. Ewan McGregor. Obviously, Ian McDermott.
Yeah.
Jet Lucas was not, right? He was in the third one.
3, yeah.
So those are so they could have like a crew.
Tamara Morrison.
Tim Morrison's there. Yeah, so they could definitely have a decent number of these actors kind of stroll out.
Think about it. Like I think for Phantom Menace, there were a lot of actors who were not there for autographs that came in. And we are in Anaheim, right? We're it's not like we're in Orlando where there's a big trip. For many of these actors, we're just like, a easy drive from LA where so many people live.
Hayden could be the big surprise. So maybe
I could see Hayden showing up, especially with Kenobi. Like maybe he shows up at the Lucasfilm Studio showcase, and then stays for the next day and then disappears.
It's not like he's filming anything else right now, probably.
Exactly.
Although you never know. Sometimes these kind of events can restart someone's career. So if if the Kenobi show is well received and people like what he does with Vader, you never know. He could.
A lot of things happen behind the scenes too at these shows. Like they have, like they'll have the cast or the filmmaking teams will have dinner and like talk about future plans or.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't I think that where George Lucas approached. I think it's maybe where he approached Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher to bring them back for the sequel trilogy. He's like, "Hey, I'm doing this. I want you guys to be part of it." A lot of this stuff happens at Celebration behind closed doors.
You know who I don't think will show up to this panel?
Yeah,
George Lucas.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be amazing.
That would be kind of crazy if he just, if they're like, "Oh, and special guest George Lucas." Although I feel like if he was going to be there, they probably would have announced it that way. More people would buy tickets.
Maybe. Yeah,
I think.
But they already had a lot of tickets sold anyway. That's the other thing. I wonder how many of the tickets they already had rolled over from last time. I'd be very curious to know what percentage were like net new versus opening up additional sales.
I bet it's not going to be as crowded as we're
probably
used to.
Not.
I think.
I mean, they did say they sold out, but I also don't know. Did they reduce capacity, or is it normal capacity again? We don't.
I know a lot of people that aren't going.
Same.
And
a lot of people usually go. Who aren't.
As many people that I know that are going, there's as many that are not. Friends that I would normally see at an event like this that will not be there for various number of reasons.
Same.
But so I do think that my expectation is that it'll be a lot less crowded. They've probably limited the number of tickets sold, so it's not going to be, they're still doing a lot of safety measures. uh, as far as I remember, right? Like they're still requiring masks and all of that stuff.
Yep.
So, if they're concerned about the health and safety side of things, then they probably wouldn't want it to be too crowded. So it could be a good for those of us who decided to go if it's not very crowded.
Could be the best
It,
celebration. Not
it might be,
very crowded.
yeah, it might be nice to have some shoulder room.
Yeah.
So what else is going to be on Friday? We have there's a there's a panel on the celebration stage as well about kind of Disney parks.
Mm-hmm. There's a ton of park stuff that evening in the afternoon.
Yeah. So I might try to catch that one.
There's one about like ILM X Labs and going beyond the spire of Galaxy's Edge. There's from a galaxy far, far away to a Disney park near you. There's 35 years of Star Tours. There's like surprising number of parks panels in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's also odd because many of them overlap with Star Wars night too. And I'm like, I feel like a lot of people go to Star Wars night would also want to be at the Disney parks panels. And
yeah, that's true. But once again, I know a lot of people that aren't going to that. In fact, you and I are both planning to go to Star Wars night, but I don't know most of the other people that I kind of know that I would hang out with at Celebration. I've asked, and they either didn't know that they could roll their tickets over and it expired. That happened to a couple people I know. And so they weren't able to, they just ended up getting a refund, even though they wanted to go to the new one. And then other people they couldn't, it sold out too fast and they weren't able to go. So once again, I wonder how crowded it will be. I hope it's not very crowded.
Well, I do know like a friend of mine was trying to get in. He decided to go pretty last minute to Celebration in the last 2 months or so. And he was looking for tickets and they were going for $300 a pop.
I was just looking the other night because I had a friend who was looking for tickets and I was going to try to help him. And I could not find anybody that was reselling them anymore. And the only site I found that was selling them had 3 different listings and they were all over $700 each.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
For tickets to the Star Wars night. So
wow.
I think
he eventually found a ticket, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll be how quiet it will be just given how in demand. I know a lot of people who are looking for tickets.
Yeah, it's sold out for sure. And it'll, whatever the capacity that Disney's letting into that. But hopefully the line for Ronto wraps isn't too long.
Oh, because we gotta get our Ronto wraps.
Oh, absolutely. I may be, and a lot of people that would be listening to this know this about me, but I'm a big Disney parks fan. So I'm almost as excited.
I had no idea.
I'm almost as excited about going to Disneyland than I am about going to Celebration. So I will be splitting my time between the two places. Definitely have plans to go to Disneyland on Friday and, obviously Star Wars night, but I'm hoping to catch some California Adventure as well on Saturday and maybe, Avengers Campus and all of that. So yeah, I'm really excited for this event. The Star Wars or the Disney like nighttime events are usually really well done. And so I'm and to just have one on Batuu or in Galaxy's Edge.
First time we've all been to a Star Wars, like to Galaxy's Edge together, like during a Star Wars convention where everyone there is a big fan.
Exactly. Yeah. It should be. Yeah. Since they're doing
really special.
Since they're doing it at the same time as Celebration, you would think pretty much everybody there is going to be, diehard fans. And so that should be there'll be a lot of people in costume and just a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited about Star Wars night.
Same.
I'm kind of my schedule is like kind of all over the place here because I was trying to filter by certain days and certain stages, but it's not working well for me. So if you have a good schedule up,
I do. I was looking at my calendar because I'm crazy and I actually put all of the panels on my calendar.
Anything else notable on Friday before we move to Saturday?
That's probably the big ones. There is an interesting panel. Go beyond. It was behind the audiobook. Sounds interesting, especially for this audience. Making of how audiobooks are made. You can also learn to play sabacc if you want.
I've never learned to play sabacc. I do have a deck,
fun.
But maybe we'll do that in the hotel while we're waiting for Kenobi to come out.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, are you going to bring yours or should I bring my deck? We should bring a deck.
Yeah, it's a small deck. I can throw it in my bag.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good. I won't add it to my packing list then. We don't need multiple. um, yeah, and then Saturday, I think that's the big one. And for
All
the
right,
first time, like it's not a film, it's a
what
TV
is it?
series,
Tales of the
right?
Jedi?
No, it's Mando Plus, a
Oh, Mando.
conversation with
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
and Dave. Like
That'll be the
normally,
big,
normally the Saturday panels are like the new movie coming out, and it was either like there was nothing coming out in terms of content, like major content, or it was a film. And now this is the first celebration we've had where it's the TV series. It's really cool.
right? Yeah. And John Favreau, I don't think he's been to a celebration, or at least maybe he did come to the last one, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
he probably did. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
did. He definitely did. But it's their first time post release
Right.
at a
Yeah.
celebration.
And having him with Dave Filoni, with a lot of, stuff already under their belt with success.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff coming up with Mandalorian. They just had Book of Boba Fett that we haven't been able to talk about at a convention yet. And then Ahsoka upcoming with those same creators. So that'll be there's certain Star Wars, people in leadership at Star Wars that I get really excited to hear talk. And Dave Filoni is always, ever since Clone Wars,
Yep.
he just has such a deep knowledge of Star Wars and such a respect for it that anytime he's talking about Star Wars, I kind of like listen, I really get into that. And
Yeah.
some of my favorite panels at celebrations have been panels with Dave Filoni. So I'm excited for that one for sure.
I couldn't agree more. Dave is awesome, and John Favreau. I really love listening to him as well in the previous panels and the Disney Gallery documentaries and everything. So the two of them together is sure to be a win. And it is interesting. The panel is titled Mando Plus, which could be a reference to Disney Plus, but it also sounds like Mando Plus the other projects they're working on.
Probably.
That tie into the Mandalorian. And so I'm very curious to see what they'll talk about there. Ahsoka, maybe, or,
I kind of expect it.
Yeah.
Ahsoka for sure. They do have a panel on Saturday as well, around behind the scenes of the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
That's more from kind of visual effects, creature effects, sound, kind of the behind the scenes. So it probably isn't going to have like the big directors and all of that, but it's a little bit more detail. So that one would be cool to catch as well.
And I don't know about you, but I definitely plan, like, I'm going to get right out of line as soon as we leave the panel for Mando Plus. I'm going to get right back in line for behind the scenes of the Mandalorian, because those are both not to be missed.
They said that you can just stay in the room.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. So the only one, so the first panel of the day,
I missed that.
You have to get the pass and everything for that and hope that you win the lottery essentially to get to that first panel. But they said the rest of the day, you can just stay in that room and hang out if you want.
Well, Saturday is the day to win the lottery for then, because you can get Mandalorian, you can get behind the scenes, and then you can stay for Tales of the Jedi.
Right. Which one is going to have Dave back. Dave Filoni's going to be talking about the animated series, the anthology shorts, which I'm really curious to see what that's all about.
Yeah. Same.
Probably.
Any theories?
Based on the title, I guess my theory would be that it's going to be kind of different animated shorts about the Jedi, but from all over the timeline. And it will be some Jedi we know, some Jedi we've never heard of. They could even have like a High Republic short, with characters that we do know. So that's kind of my hope. I hope it's not just like an anthology series about more stories from the Clone Wars. They've done that. I really hope they kind of expand out, and maybe, how awesome would that be if they have a short featuring Rey and Finn, in the future. So anything that's related to the Jedi, maybe they've already announced more about this and I'm way off base.
No, they have announced nothing.
Okay.
In fact, they still have never officially even acknowledged it, aside from the fact that there's a panel. So
animation is amazing for the fact that it takes off a lot of limitations. even with the digital animation now that you can do in live action, there's
Yeah.
still always that limitation, right? If it doesn't look real, like they can't really do as much as they
Mhm.
can with just regular, animation. So to have this anthology series, I don't know if they've announced like if it's digital animation, kind of like Clone Wars and Rebels,
Right.
or
I
if
don't
it's
know.
hand drawn. I hope that it's hand drawn. I think hand drawn animation just lends itself to
Mhm.
Star Wars, and we saw that with Star Wars Visions, how cool it can look. Like those episodes or not because of the anime styling, but I really like Star Wars Visions, and if it's something like that with Filoni and maybe more of a traditional hand drawn style, that would be right up my alley. So I'm excited to find out more about it because it could be some of the coolest Star Wars coming from just that. For a fan of animation, it could be something that's really exciting.
Yeah. I agree. And I think that what'll be interesting to see is, do they bounce around the timeline, or do they Tales of the Jedi definitely evokes the old comics, the Dark Horse comics,
See,
in
I think because they're calling it like animated anthology shorts,
mhm,
to me
probably
that's
all
not.
over.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of like collected stories the way they've done with some of the
Yeah.
books, some of those kind of tales, the myths, the books that they've done, like the myth, I forget what it was called, myths and fables or whatever, but they have, different stories from different periods, different characters. It's not going to be continuous a story, with a number of episodes all about the same characters. It's going to be like, all right, here's a 10-minute short about these two characters going through this event, and then they'll jump to a different 10-minute short, you know. And I'm hoping it is a mix. I hope it's a mix of characters we know and a mix of characters that are brand new, or maybe characters we've heard of but they've never been featured in kind of animation or live action. So characters from the comics, characters from the books. I mean, there's a lot of characters they could pull from, and I hope it isn't just you know Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Yoda, like all these
Right.
characters that we've kind of already seen do a lot of stuff. I hope they get creative with it and pull in maybe some more obscure characters, even if it's random, like Coyote Mundi or something. Somebody
Right. It
who
would
we
be
haven't
really
really
cool. Yeah.
seen
More
do
like
that
Gendy
much.
Tartakovsky style. Yeah.
Yeah, but him get his own little 10-minute short would be cool. So there's a lot of potential there. Who knows what they're going to do with it? But I guess we'll find out next week.
Yeah. I'm excited. It's hard to, again, it's so hard to believe it's next week.
Anything else on Saturday, or is that kind of the main stuff?
So let's see. Well, no, there's more. There's also a conversation with Doug Chang about the Mandalorian on the Galaxy stage. Doug
Okay.
Chang, I always love listening to him, so that'll be great. And then there's also behind the scenes of Del Rey. There's Anthony Daniels. There's Marvel Star Wars comics. Saturday is a packed day.
All right. Well, for the sake of time, we won't dig into those deeper, but it does sound like a lot of cool stuff. So let's jump to Sunday,
Yeah.
and the big opening panel on the celebration stage is Bad Batch season 2. Unfortunately, because of my schedule again, this might be the only panel I catch on Sunday because I think I have to head out after this. So I'm hoping I can at least catch this panel if we win the lottery thing to get in it, because that show was a bright spot for me, and
Yeah.
I liked it way more than I expected to with
Oh
those
yeah.
characters. And I remember when they showed up in the Clone Wars stuff, and I was like, okay, I don't know that these are kind of my thing, but as that season went on for their own show, I really loved what they did with it. So I'm excited to see where they're going with season 2.
Yeah. Same. I really enjoyed the show, like you, and I I guess I never quite believed that it would be on the level of the Clone Wars, right? But it really is the spiritual successor to the Clone Wars in so many ways. It's a more focused show, of course. It's focused just on the clones, but from an animation, standpoint, and from a storytelling standpoint, it really does pick up from the Clone Wars, and I love that. And so yeah, I'm very excited to see what they do in season 2.
We're doing like
And of course, what?
I was just gonna say they're doing a Siege of Mandalore screening,
Yes. Oh,
which is cool. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna miss it, but it'd be cool to
Oh,
see on the big screen because that
yeah,
that obviously was just like a really epic part of that show.
it was. And there's nothing like watching Star Wars with a group of fans,
Which is one
And
thing they're not doing as much of in Celebration, unless there's something that they haven't announced.
yeah,
Because
like they have the different movies every night or whatever.
yeah, they had in previous celebrations, they'd have like almost like screen rooms where you
Yeah.
could go and watch. I think they had a room that was just basically playing like Lego Star Wars all day. You
Yeah.
could just go watch that, or you could go and drop in and watch episodes of Clone Wars, or you could watch the movies at night. And they're not doing as much of that this time around, but they
Yeah.
do. This is I think the only screening that they've announced.
That they've announced. Yeah. And so I don't know. I am happy that there was supposed to be a fan screening of the Siege of Mandalore in late March of 2020. And we all know what happened.
Mhm.
And so it's really cool that they're trying to do that anyway now. And give fans a chance to watch that epic conclusion together.
So, anything else on the other stages before we get to the closing ceremony?
That's all I had on my personal calendar.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's some interesting stuff here and there, but those are really it's animation Sunday basically.
Right. So they have the closing ceremony, which once again I won't be there for this. And the closing ceremonies tend to be not really a lot going on, other than sometimes they'll announce the next celebration.
Right.
So there could be a possibility of an announcement for the next celebration.
We always get our hopes up. Every year, every single celebration, everyone's like, they're gonna announce, insert thing here at the closing ceremonies.
They never do.
They never do. Never once in a million years. We should
have learned
our
our lesson by now that the closing ceremonies never have any big information or drop of a trailer.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll replay a trailer that they've already dropped earlier in the week.
Right. But that's it. There's never it's fun. It's a nice way to I enjoy going still because it's a nice way to look back on the couple days. They have video footage. It's kind of fun, it's like a nice way to end the con instead of just walking out.
Right.
But there's never any big news.
Right. So,
and if anyone tells you otherwise, don't believe them.
I've skipped it before. I've gone to a couple of them, skipped a couple of them. This time around, I'm missing it because of travel. But, if they announce the next celebration, that'll pretty much be the only thing that comes out of there that's probably interesting to me. And I would actually even be surprised if they announce the next celebration, just because I feel like the way things are right now, I don't know that celebration will be a yearly thing.
No, it's probably every 2 or 3 years is my guess.
So they'll probably wait maybe and announce the next one sometime as it gets closer. So, but yeah, celebration coming up. So other than panels, because I know, obviously a number of those panels we're going to try to get to, I'm assuming you don't, but do you kind of do the autograph thing? Or do you do the collectors thing? Do you go and try to get certain merchandise, anything like that?
Not really. I guess something really strikes me, I might go try to get it, but I don't know. I've done less of the collecting in recent years. I've never really been big into the autographs. And I do less of the collecting. Like if I see something I really like, I go get it, but I more enjoy reading the books or playing the games or, doing the different Star Wars conventions, for example, versus just buying the collectibles, most just because as cool as they are, where would I put them? I want to make sure I have a good spot to put them, and I just don't. So
right. Yeah.
There's only so much space in the office, and
there's some cool posters behind you though.
Thank you. Yes.
So yeah, I'm kind of the same. I think I signed up for like the Funko exclusive. I don't even know what their exclusives are because I haven't taken the time to look, but I did sign up for that little lottery. So if I win it, maybe I'll go get a Funko exclusive.
Might as well.
In the past, I've tried to get like Lego exclusives, but they're not doing that this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably won't. I'll probably spend most of my time just doing panels and maybe walking the convention floor.
Yeah, it's fun to go walk the convention floor. It'll be interesting to see. It seems like there's fewer exhibitors this year. Just looking through the exhibitor list, but we'll see what it actually looks like when we arrive. But yeah,
Right. So,
I don't know.
all right.
I'm
Well,
excited. Should
yeah,
be fun.
I'm super excited. I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to go to, celebration stuff. I can't wait to go to Disney stuff. It's very convenient. The location
Oh
of
yeah.
the Anaheim Convention Center is so close to the Disney park, so you literally can walk from your hotel to to celebration to the parks. It's all within parking distance or within walking distance. So I'm excited about all of that and just excited to see friends.